Hey guys, and welcome to Birth and Belief. We're your hosts, two moms and labor and delivery nurses, walking through the beauty, chaos, and everything in between when it comes to birth and motherhood.
We'll share real stories, practical insight, a lot of laughs, and the moments that remind us we're never doing this alone. So whether you're a mom-to-be, or just someone needing a little encouragement, we're so glad you're here. This is Birth and Belief, where every story matters and every moment points back to Him. Welcome back to Birth and Belief.
Here we are. Thank you for tuning in for our fourth full episode.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
If you don't already follow us we're on the things. We're on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. Like, subscribe.
Share with your friends.
Yeah.
Tell your people.
Yeah. Tell your people. Today we're going to talk about something a little bit more specific to our jobs. So nursing and how our beliefs impact how we care for patients and how we take our faith and how we translate it into the hospital setting. So I think first it goes without saying, or maybe it needs to be said, that for us, nursing is our job, but it's also a calling. And it's something that I think we chose this field because we felt like the Lord
led us here.
Yeah. Led us here. So I share, I don't know, how do beliefs affect how you care for patients, or like how do you bring your faith into labor rooms?
Yeah, I feel like, faith in our setting at least is difficult to maybe always project or discuss, but at least for me, like even if I'm having a hard day at home, I come to work trying to just tell myself that you're called to be here. You are called to be compassionate and caring to others. And there are some days I feel like we're like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a long shift, or
I don't really want to go to work today.
Okay, here we are. And sometimes like with it being a long day before coming to work, and then you get like this rock star patient where you're like, frick, yes, thank you. I can push through for 12 hours. Yes. And that right there is like, the Lord has, like, that was a gift, because here I am not feeling great, and then coming to work just like, yep, let's get fired up. But then it can be completely opposite, where you might be having a great day or still not a good day, and then you get something, you're like, why me? And I think in those moments I almost see my faith stronger, because I like that. Those are times I really had to be like, okay, Lord, like this is not about me. This is about my patient's story. And they might be a difficult patient, or they might be just like more work than I want to put in at work.
That's
and it's like, you know what? This was what I'm called to do. And I should feel so honored to be able to be a part of these people's birth story, because it's not about me. It is about them. And I think that's where I at least feel like my faith working at least the most often, in times like that, where, that's what I would say. I feel like my faith is most reflected in kind of how I project onto patients, where I choose to be compassionate and caring, where maybe it might not always be the most fun or easy per se.
Yeah. I think sometimes we take for granted like birth.
Absolutely.
Because we see it every day, all the time. Like sometimes we see 10 deliveries in one shift, depending on like what role we're doing. And I think maybe sometimes we take for granted that like we get to see the miracle of life literally every day.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how people can witness what we witness at work all the time and not believe in God. There are things that we go through, like the loss that we experience on our unit it's like one of those things that I feel like I have a really hard time reconciling with my faith. But the miracle of life and getting to walk through those moments with people, it's so hard to do that without like recognizing the Creator.
I will say that I feel like we both say that at work to each other often, where it's like, how can this be without God? How is this happen? Like what's the view from other people if this is not from our Creator?
Yeah. I feel like for me, there are a lot of times like I may be having a bad attitude at home, and it's like example for me, last week my son was sick and he had a fever, and he was like, I just want mom to snuggle me, and I was like, mom has to go to work, and it was just like heartbreaking, and I just wanted to be home with my baby. And then I had to use, and I do this almost every shift, I use my drive to work to like center myself, and like I have like this unspoken rule with myself that like now it's spoken. I'll only listen to worship music on the way to work, and it's like my way to like get my heart ready for the ministry that we're stepping into. That is our job. And that is caring for patients. It's also interacting with coworkers. It's, I mean, our workplace can be a pretty dark place sometimes. Like the things
Very
that
heavy.
we see and experience, whether it's patients or coworkers, it can be a pretty dark place. And so centering myself walking into work. And then I think for, you know, as believers and knowing that like this is the place where God has set us and where he's called us to be. And so caring for patients in kind of like you were saying, like seeing them as children of God, even if they're not believers, like praying over them, like trying to be just prayerful in every moment. So like if I'm caring for you, you're prayed over, whether you are a believer or not.
Absolutely.
So I think that is like, sometimes I hover, like if I have an unmedicated delivery or unmedicated patient, like I will kind of hover in the room, and like sometimes they don't need my support. Say they have a doula or they have like really supportive family members, and they don't need me for like emotional support because they have that. Like I will just hover in the room and pray, and that is like my way of caring for them.
And I mean, like to tie in that my own personal birth story with Murphy, that's all that was happening in the delivery room.
Here come the tears
every time. But it's just like there was equal amount of non-believers in that room, and just like knowing that the people, you and the others that are believers in the room, like that was like what got me through. Just like knowing that was, and that's, I mean, being the patient, like it's so different than being on the work side, but like knowing that what you did for me, you do daily, like that is so just refreshing and honestly inspiring, because I feel like that has helped me become a better nurse, like knowing that just because you're not caring for someone with the same faith or faith at all, like you are here to serve, and that's literally what got us to become a nurse. We wanted to serve others in this way, and being able to do that with prayer is on it's just like such a gift. And
it was pretty cool, like
of that.
Well, in your delivery with Murphy, like we were praying out loud and we were worshiping, and our coworkers who were taking care of you were not believers. And we had one of our coworkers was taking pictures, and she's not a believer, but she's still like witnessed that, you know, and just like, we're not going to change who we are and how we are just because you're here. And I think like, you know, we're acting as a witness in our in our work setting, you know, and sometimes that is with our words, which, you know, we're not really allowed to talk about our faith too much at work, but people know that we're believers. They know we go to church, but we get to act that out with kindness, with patience, with the way that we are helpful, with the way, you know, with love. And, you know, just like, I think about like, we have a coworker who we're both friends with, and she was going through a hard time, a hard season in her marriage. And Caitlin and I both talked about how we were being intentional with her about saying like, we're praying for you. And just in that, she, you know, she said, she was like, I know. Like,
it makes a joke out of it, but it's like, she knows. And I don't know, I feel like our coworkers have like like even though we're not the same as them, they feel like a comfort.
Like we're safe people.
Yes, we are safe people. Even if they are believers or not, they know that we will listen and know that we are here for them. And I think that is because we are able to shine our light at work. And regardless of what we agree or disagree on, they know that we can be a home base for them at work. And I feel like recently, like people have like shared like they have a faith or they want to come back to faith or have a relationship, and I think that has been like oh okay, I think that like we've both talked about like this podcast, if anything, it could be a light to the dark, and if that is people at work, like that is amazing.
Well, I think too, like specifically since we announced that we were going to be starting this podcast, people are like coming out of the woodworks and like telling us like, I love Jesus. And we're like, wait, what? We didn't know, because they're scared to say it at work or uncomfortable. And, you know, sometimes like, you know, it's not outright like, I'm going to share the gospel with you every time I come to work, but just knowing that like we are safe people, or people know what we believe. And then how we act and treat people is a reflection of that. That being said, like, you know, if I do have a patient who they're listening to worship music or they're praying, I'm like, I am a believer too. Like, I think that's so cool. Like, I had a patient who, after their baby was born, they sang the doxology, right, honey? That's what it's called. They sang the doxology over their baby, and I like, oh my goodness, it was the most precious moment. And I had to tell them, like, you know, my husband's family, this song comes out at every family gathering. Everybody, they bust out the doxology. But it's so sweet to be able to like share that with patients. And I think that, I mean, I've had patients where they're like, knowing that you too are a believer makes them feel safe.
I mean, we have lots of friends that deliver at our hospital. And I think if we are not there for their delivery, lots of them say like, is there any believers that, and it's just like, that shows like that the impact of having the faith in the room so prevalent is just, it makes things just so different. And it's very evident. And I mean, I love when people are listening to worship music, or, you know, you have a patient where, you know, like, oh, I know they love Jesus. It's like, and not that it makes it any different than a non-believer, but it's like, you can just be more outward in your faith. And just, I feel like I bond with them better. And I don't know, I just feel the presence of the Lord in that room.
I think on the flip side of that though, for me, like where we live, there's a lot of drug problems. You know, we have a lot of people who come in addicted and detoxing while they're having their babies. And I think as believers, like for me, I feel like it just makes my heart break. Like it's so hard to see. And I find myself like trying to like encourage those people. And I think that like, I think I've told you this before, but like, I always feel like I'm trying to, you know, continuously pray, like I'm communicating with you, but I'm also trying to continuously be like, okay, God, what do you have for this person? Or what do you want me to say? And like in those moments, like trying to download, like, what would God want me to speak to them, to encourage them? And so it's hard, you know, and specifically, like, I mean, I grew up around here, and there's been people that I like, oh my goodness, I grew up with them. And like, and they're walking down this path that is so hard, and trying to then like encourage them and speak life over them in this season where it's like, you are walking down this really hard path, and now you're having a baby, and this can be a turning point for you. And so, and I think that, like, you know, similar to my family, like we work with a lot of good people who would maybe say a lot of the same things, but like having it be motivated from, I'm seeing you through eyes of the Lord and how God sees you, and I want to speak life over you, and that is my motivation. And I don't know, just loving people and caring for people in the way that Jesus would.
Yeah, exactly. Because not everyone is gonna, I mean, we say now like it's a rare form of having like a husband and wife happily married come in and have a baby. And so we definitely, I would say, like, share and give a lot of compassion to those who, you know, like who are completely at rock bottom. And I mean, kind of like how you had said the past episode, the friends lowering to Jesus to be healed. And it's like, I feel like we are able to be there caring for this person who might not have any of that around them. And just being that little tiny grain of salt, rather, if it's even anything, but just knowing like, okay, maybe they're different. And just being able to show our love and care in that way, and know that that's Jesus. It's not anything else but that.
And that's, I mean, like anything, we don't do it perfectly. And there's moments where like, I mean, like right now I'm reminding myself that like, even on those days when you don't want to go to work, when you're tired, I mean, we both work night shift, and we go into work a lot of times tired, and just trying to remind myself, like, even in those moments when I'm tired and I would rather be home with my kids or with my husband on a date, or, you know, all these other things that I would rather be doing, but remembering that like God has placed us at our job for such a time as this, and we are called to care and not to miss out on what God wants to do with us and through us every day we go to work. And, you know, we are taking this like profession of nursing and we're turning it into a ministry. And, I mean, I know that we're both called there, even when we are in our selfish ways, don't want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many times where I'm like, I don't want to be at work. Why am I here? Or how much PTO do I have? Can I call out sick tonight? But I feel like in those times, I get almost the most joy in work, or something happens where I'm like, oh, this was okay. This was so worth it. Or, you know, and I mean, I feel like, I mean, in nursing school, what you do, like the blessing of the hands in, I don't know, one of your ceremonies. Like, at least we did it. And I feel like that's something.
Christian school.
That's true. Christian school. That's why. But then it just like shows like, okay, blessing of the hands. Like we're blessed with these hands to give and to serve. And I mean, sometimes I tell myself like, I chose this. You chose this, Caitlin, and you were gifted. Like you were given these gifts from the Lord to be able to do this, and not just nursing, but this whole profession allows us to be a stay-at-home moms and be able to be there for them also. And I feel like that has helped me fuel the fire to come ready to work also. And
you know, I was just thinking about like when things go wrong, or like in labor and delivery, a lot of times, you know, a lot of things are like the nurse's intuition of like, oh, this is probably happening, or just kind of like having that sense of like, I mean, even any other kind of nursing, you're like, I know everything looks stable, but I just have this like nurse intuition and like
something's
recognizing like in us, that's the Holy Spirit speaking to us, or, you know, in being able to stay calm in emergencies and being able to support people in emergencies, and just how, you know, recognizing that like that intuition, some of it is things we've learned, but a lot of it is the Holy Spirit.
Absolutely. I mean,
prompting us.
Yeah. Because there are times when I've just like gone solely over to the support people, and it's like, I don't even know half the time what I'm saying, but just knowing that like, okay, I'm a presence of comfort. Well, those are times when I'm like, okay, Lord, give me words, because they are not know what's going on in an emergency, but I can be those, like the comfort that they need in that time. So
well, let this be your encouragement. You know, if you're a nurse, if you're in the thick of it, it's your mission field.
And let your light shine,
just as it is ours, and learning to continue to see it that way. And like I said earlier, we don't always get it perfect. I mean, there's conflict with coworkers, there's hard conversations, there's, you know, things that happen, and just taking things, you know, keeping short accounts with people. I think that is such a big reflection of Jesus, like especially like coworkers, like if there's conflict, keeping short accounts of it. So being able to not hold on to those things and being able to move on. And then assuming the best in people and patients and coworkers, and treating them like Jesus and loving them. So it's pretty cool that we get to
coworkers.
We get to do that. Get to be the hands and feet of Jesus as people welcome their babies into the world.
It is a true honor, honestly, to be a part of people's birth stories and do it together.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you feel encouraged, and join us again next time.
See you next time.